dropped down 2 places. Since the start, round the outside line goes Danny, who now goes for the race lead, but he's fighting back on Thrive for Life at the minute, and the Red Bull just about holding his position. And here for round 5 is going to win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Malou wins here in Baku. Right then, good afternoon ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to IFR. It has been a little while since I've commentated here, but we are back, and tonight for the 5th round of the season here in Australia. What a race it is going to be. I cannot wait to get into this one this evening. Of course, I never used to do the Fridays. It was always the Saturdays. Coming into this one today though, Friday evening, 15 drivers join us today as well, and definitely a very good night of racing ahead of us. As I mentioned, here in Australia, Albert Park this afternoon, we have Kanho in the Red Bull up at the top. Now Guru to the quickest driver at the moment. Just bear with me a second, because I remembered you guys have got a race intro, so I'm going to make sure that goes in. Just have to find it for you. Unless that's for the other tier, my apologies. It might be for the tier actually. I'm going to leave it out for today. I've just realised that. Anyway, we are back. It is very nice to be here. Chris in the McLaren with a 1:16.726, then 0.04 of a second faster than Vigo at the moment, and the McLaren clears the Haas in the very early stages of qualifying. Vigo 2 then, Mike Pro in 3rd, there's Guru 4, Kanho 5, we've got Bombastic in 6th, and that is all the drivers that have set times here today so far. But 15 people do join us, and a lot of them now setting lap times. There's Bombastic, of course, set at P6. We've got Eric C in P8, then all the way down towards the 2nd sector. What's this looking like then for Eric C in the Mercedes? Is it any decent time here? It's a 43.858 then for the Merc. Is TSMO one of the quickest drivers that we have here in IFR? He goes quickest out of everybody so far. A very nice lap time from him. But over the line for Arixi then in the Merc, and it is going to be P4. Not a bad effort at all there. I've just been told, got told earlier, my apologies, that for this tier, which I believe is L2, the drivers that are above 108 AI have to go into, they have to disqualify themselves or retire in this session, and then they get a 20 place grid penalty as well. And this is, you know, basically so the quicker drivers that are coming in aren't ruining it for everybody else that is here and trying to have a bit of fun. So I'm assuming the quick drivers like TSMO up at the front is going to retire from the session now, and of course start from the back of the grid. But unless he's trying to disqualify himself now, which is looking like it. But it's a 1:16.4 then for him so far. Chris LV, P2. Vigo then is currently sat in 3rd. Eric C set 4 a moment to go, as TSMO now does get disqualified from the session for parking in a dangerous location. And now gets sent to the back of the grid this evening. Chris, now your leader in this session. Vigo to Arixi in 4 now, as over the line for Beast, who sets the quickest time in the afternoon. A very nice time for the Ferrari, who's now the quickest driver here in IFR L2. This is looking very good for him, but is he one of the drivers over 108 AI? We'll find out about that. But at the moment, he has just set the fastest time, ladies and gentlemen, of the day, which is what we like to see. Well, we are about midway through qualifying at the moment. 13 drivers are now left in this session. Noah He in the Racing Bull at the back at the moment, but looking to start a lap in a moment. He's just come out onto the track and ready to go round fairly soon. Justastic in the Williams. He's heading towards the line now then. What has he got in store for us today? A 1:18.348 then for the Williams. Guru on an outlap now, heading his way around. He'll be setting the lap very soon. Bombastic down to P11 now. The CSMO standings are Eric's, Beast, and then Stylist, who isn't here. So Alder is third contender there. Brilliant. Love to see it. Well, Vigo over the line, ladies and gentlemen. Vigo over the line in the Haas. It's a 1:15.857 and a very nice time indeed for him as he makes a very nice lap time. Much quicker as well than Beast here. It's looking like Vigo might be a driver to retire. Eric's in the chat, you're a little bit too silent. Do you mean I'm not talking enough, or do you mean maybe I'm not loud enough? Maybe is that better? You'll have to let me know. It might just be a little bit quiet, to be fair. But yes, Vigo, the quickest driver here. The loudness. Yeah, no worries, mate. Thank you very much for telling me. I will turn it up slightly. I just don't want to deafen the ears. I think that's a little bit better. Let me know if that's okay. Hopefully it is. I can hear myself a hell of a lot louder now. But 8 minutes remaining then of this session. And I'm really happy to be here, I really am. Of course, normally do the Saturdays, but today here for L2. And I am back. Vigo, currently the quickest man, pieced together a beautiful lap time earlier on. And now the quickest driver out of everybody. Into the pit lane now. It is Beast P2 in the pit lane. Chris LV towards the line with the fuel light on. Over the line then, ladies and gentlemen. What can Chris do? It's going to be second place with an 1/8 of a second improvement. But unfortunately for him, he will be disqualifying himself right now. Vigo will be doing the same. And Beast, I believe, is actually the quickest driver, you know, here at the moment. When you take away the L1 drivers who will disqualify themselves in due course. Well, Chris now gets disqualified. That is it for his session then. Rounds off his Australian GP qualifying session here. But an outlap then for Beast, who is currently the quickest driver by 1/10 of a second over Erixi. And this is looking good for the Ferrari. He's got a bit of time to go round, of course. We've got Nuwoke in the Racing Bull as well. 1:17.1. Been quite off the radar this evening, but he's here in 4th position and quite high up on the grid. That will be 3rd place when Vigo retires, but he's giving it another go. Mike Pro in 5th at the moment. He's a 1:17.3. He is about 1/10 of a second behind Null at the moment, with Kenny behind that in P6. The 2 Aston Martins quite high up the grid, about mid-pack then here this evening. Luco in the Haas, he crosses the line, invalidated on the previous go-around, unfortunately. Guru in 8th. There's Jutastic in the Williams as well on an outlap, so we're going to get ready to watch him head his way around very soon. Vigo is going to be retiring from the session in due course as Beast is giving it another go. He's currently with a 1:16.666, and with 6 minutes remaining of this qualifying session, what can he do? Following the disqualification of Vigo here, Beast is now your qualifying leader. Will he be beaten? It is not looking like it so far, as Beast does find 1/10 of a second in that first sector here in Albert Park. Now all the way down the riverfront and down towards the end of sector 2 for Beast. Here comes the Scuderia, and he finds now 2/10 of a second on this lap around. Through the chicane he goes and down to the final few corners of this lap. This is looking really nice and neat, my apologies, and keeping it looking very good at the moment. But can he continue this form round the final few corners then for this Scuderia Ferrari? And about 0.8 of a second quicker than Null, the man behind him. He is definitely the best out of the lot so far. Beast over the line. An improvement will be made for him. And it's half a second then for Beast. Looking very nice. Oh my God. There's normally, in every league that I'm in, there's normally a bit of an inside joke that everybody has. Maybe a little bit louder. You're on max loudness, but a little bit too silent. Maybe I can turn the game down slightly, mate. I think if I do any more, it's going to start clipping out, and I think it'll sound bad. Yeah, looking very nice, Chris. Oh, mate. Can't believe I've just said that. Anyway, Beast currently the quickest man. It's 1 minute 16.152. That is an absolutely sensational time for him. And look at the gap then. It's 1:16.3 for Urixi, about 0.2 of a second. And currently looking good for them two drivers. Is Nullwoke then in third, Mike Pro 4, Kenny 5, Jutastic in 6 as he runs it a bit wide on the left-hand side. And now he brings himself back on. But a 1:18.0 he has currently set. Luco in 7 then. Into the barrier there. Into the wall then for Luco. Bombastic in 9 then. He is on a flying lap into the second sector here. It's 7.5 improvement then over his previous lap. It's looking pretty good then for Bombastic at the minute. But can he continue this form through the remainder of the lap? Only a few corners to go here in Albert Park. Luco gets disqualified from the session now. And into the barrier for Bombastic. That'll be the end of his lap then, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of his lap. Such a shame, but that is it. No more laps from him at the moment. Still a bit of time if he wants to go again, but probably only chance for one more. And that lap is completely ruined now for him as Null over the line with 75% battery. He is now going to go for another lap. Third place in the Racing Bull. A very good effort from him. But if you look at the gap between him and Urixi, it is quite a while off. Null has got a lot of time to gain here. And if he is on a flying lap, which is looking like he is, he's going to have to really find some time. The first sector's going to show what point he's at. He's found 2.5 tenths in the first sector. Not bad, but he needs more than that if he wants to be, a little bit higher, if he wants to gain another place, because the margin between him and Urixi is just astronomically large at the moment. So we'll find out how it goes, but with only 2 minutes remaining, the clock is running out. It is 3.5, nearly 0.4 of a second found now through the middle sector, and it's purple in the middle too. It's looking brilliant at the moment for Null, but can he continue this form? Can he keep this up in the RB? His teammate Noah He down in 10, so he won't have any support from him, and it isn't looking like he's on the track to give him a bit of a slipstream. He is on his own here, is Null, round the final corner here in Albert Park. Will it be a significant improvement, or will he stay in 4th place today? Null does gain a place over Mike Pro here, back to 3rd place with a bit of an improvement, about half a second nearly for Null, but only 3rd place for him. Mike Pro did make an improvement. He got to 3rd, now bumped down to 4th. Kenny in 5 with a 0.6 of a second improvement on this current lap around at the moment. Now into the final third with a minute remaining of this qualifying session then. What can Kenny do? He needs a good time here. Already P5 at the minute, but still time to be found for him in the Aston Martin. Here comes Kenny then round the final corner. This is his final lap time in qualifying with a fuel light on. Will he gain any more places from P5? He does not. It is a 0.6 of a second improvement, but still not enough here for him to make a move on any places, unfortunately, so he stays in that same position. Canho then in 9, Noah He down in 10, and Noah He is on a flying lap. The first time we've seen him round today, going for it again. as in the chat, predictions, I've been told. Oh, we've got a lot of drivers disqualifying, of course, due to their AI. Honestly, my opinions, I think TSMO is going to go for the win. I really, really do. I've seen him in L1, and he's a very fast driver. Really, really good. I'm excited to see how he can pull through the pack today, as well as everybody else that disqualified, of course, on the better AI modes. But I think TSMO 1, I'm going to put Beast in 2, and I'm going to give Chris 3rd. Oh, a snap there of oversteer for Noah. Here's the back end slid out as he now sorts it out. Oh, and the back end slides out again here in quali. That is it for Noah then in the pit lane. Qualifying is over. No, won't set another time. Kenny's done as well. And Guru, this is his last few corners now to decide where he's going to start in this race. Here he is then in the Williams. Guru up towards the final corner where he's going to go foot flat to the floor. Here at Albert Park this afternoon for the 5th round of the season. The final time of the day. Will he make an improvement? It's still P7 for Guru. Stays where he is. But at the end of this session then, it is Beast in the Scuderia Ferrari on pole position over Arixi by about a 10th of a second. Charlie in the chat, hello mate, good to see you. Welcome in. You can't score points. Yeah, I know mate. I was just saying like predictions of course on track, but if you want a proper prediction, I'll give you another one in a moment. But that is it for the first part of this evening. Here's your finisher results then here in Australia for round 5 of L2 this season. It is Beast on pole position by nearly a 10th of a second then over Arixi in 2nd place. Null Woke lines up in 3rd, joined by Mike Pro 4. Kenny then in 5. It is due to Stick in 6. Guru in 7. 8. Bombastic 9 is Canho. And 10 is Noah He. This evening. That is your top 10. Next up is the Grand Prix. We're back very, very shortly. On the grid then, ladies and gentlemen, 5 lights ahead of the drivers, and we get away with it without a formation lap. It is lights out and away we go for L2 then here on the Friday evening. Bombastic with a great start, then leading down into... Well, actually, never mind. A bit of an issue here, but it is Eric's as your leader. Apparently Bombastic ahead, but of course a bit of a technical glitch there. So it's Eric's your leader from Beast in 3rd, Mike Pro 4. It is Guru in 5, Kenny 6, Solder 7, Heavy 8, TSMO 9. Already making places up on the start. TSMO up 5 places since lap 1. Apparently Blocky is, there we go, sorted himself out. It is Eric's now as your leader of this race, and he's onto the grass a little bit there. Beast is going to try and chase him now all the way down towards the chicane. This is the first lap of 29 coming your way here in Australia, and Beast looks up the inside line here. Not enough room to make an overtake just yet as he runs wide. Now around goes the Aston Martin. Mike Pro spins into the barrier. His teammate says thank you very much and lets him have the move. As Mike Pro all the way down to P7 now. Kenny, Guru, Null Woke as well, all into the pit lane. All into the pit lane, my apologies. All past. But my brain is fried tonight. All past this evening. It is TSMO in 8 now. And look at this, 6 places gained. He is making many places up this evening. And now 6 up from the start. Lap 2 of 29 now. Mike Pro makes a pit stop due to that wing damage that he's just sustained from hitting the barrier. But it is Eric still leading this race in the Mercedes. And he's got Beast to keep at bay behind. Beast is getting pretty close to him now. And Blocky's not far off either. You can see them in the distance up in front. Thank you very much for the follow, mate. I appreciate that. As the drivers continue on, it is past this first sector then for Beast at the moment, who is absolutely flying in this scooter here, and he's not too far behind Eric's here to make this overtake. When he gets a little bit closer, it is more than possible here then for it to happen. Here comes Beast round the outside line. Eric's gets overtaken. Beast into the Grand Prix lead today here in Australia. And the Scuderia Ferrari finally gets his moment in the sun. Eric's is going to have to hold this one now and wait behind for his turn again. But a great overtake for Beast there, who asserts his dominance finally and gets through into the race lead by 8/10 of a second then over Eric's. Loads of position changes at the back here then. Kenny loses, goes down to 8. TSMO is getting up even more now. He's up 7 since lap 1. TSMO is absolutely flying today. Of course, he is one of the quickest out of everybody here because he's from the quickest tier. But he is really pulling up a good fight for all of the drivers this evening. Currently sat in P7. He's got Heavy in front of him, as Chris now picks up a fastest lap. But we watch the front pairing again, and it is the 3rd lap now of 29. Is Beast and Eric's giving it a really, really good go at the front. Of course, Beast got ahead of Eric's a moment ago, but how long will that be for? Because, of course, we know what Eric's is capable of. He had a brilliant start, and if he puts that speed to good practice now, he might just be able to make this overtake finally on Beast. Is it possible then? It's looking like it is, as he gets ever closer to the chicane then, but doesn't make the move as he just didn't know which way to go and couldn't decide quick enough there. He stays behind at the moment, but now all the way down towards the 90-degree turn, looks for the inside line, and not enough still, can't do it. Here's an overtake, then up the inside line for Guru. TSMO round the outside. Who's going to get through here? It's the McLaren who outruns the Williams here. And TSMO now ahead of Guru. Another place gained. A very nice overtake as well for the McLaren as he gets through. And he's already top 5 in 3 laps. He is really quick. Up to the front then. Eric's looks for an overtake on Beast. Still can't do it here. In the middle of them all is Blocky then in 3rd. We normally get in the chat quite a lot. Well, a great start to the race so far, ladies and gentlemen. Kenny, I think, has gone around at the back. He's onto the gravel traps here then. And look at the closing speed for Luco there then as he goes up the inside line and does get ahead. But that was mega, mega close with the Haas as he flies through past Kenny, who was having a few issues. Here comes Vigo then on Noah. He looks for the outside line. And what an incredible overtake then through the chicane they go. Look at that. He pushes Noah wide. Noah onto the gravel trap. Thank you very much for the follow, mate. I appreciate that. But Noah onto the gravel traps. Luco got ahead there. What an overtake. Vigo in 9 then. It is Chris in 8, Guru in 7, Heavy in 6. There's Mike Pro with a 3-second time penalty as well. The first penalty of the day. The first penalty of the day in 5 laps. How many will we get today then is the question. Australia, you do tend to get quite a few as the walls are tighter than you think. Kenny with a 10-second time penalty then for speeding in the pit lane. He's in there now to get his wing changed out. Brand new wing on that Aston Martin then with brand new tyres as well. It's looking like the hard compound and it is the hards. As he now exits the pit lane in P13, now P14, now actually the back of the grid when he comes out. But here comes Beast, and Eric's closing in again. The Scuderia Ferrari leads, but how long for? Because the Mercedes is closing in, and the old school constructors are looking to battle it out until Eric's now has run it wide then. Out of the chicane, and now the gap has gone all the way up to 1 whole second between Erics and Beast. Vigo with a penalty as well, but that is not ideal at all then for Erics, as he runs very wide and ruins his chances of making an overtake in the next few moments. Well, a good race so far. A really, really good race. Lap 6 of 29 so far. It is Beast as your leader with 1.5 second gap. As Erics, if you've just seen, went wide out of the chicane, which he's heading up to now, and he won't want to make the same mistake twice, which he doesn't, but he will be more cautious through there this time due to the mistake he made on the previous lap. Here come the 2 Hasses then. Vigo's really close behind his teammate of Luco as they head through the chicane now. No visible overtakes at the moment, but down towards the 90 degree. We might just get one. The drivers sticking incredibly close to each other here. Here comes Chris LV on Heavy. Heavy leaves the room for him. He sends it up the inside line. They are making contact as they wheel bang through. Who's going to get ahead here? The McLaren is not letting off at all, and now 3 abreast as the Haas tries around the outside line. Look at this battle here. They come 2 by 2 by 2 nearly into the final few corners, but Chris LV comes out as the head of it. It is Heavy in 7. Luco now gets ahead of Heavy into 7 now. Heavy gets down to 8. And the battle continues on as they head in towards turn 1. Look at this then. The Hasses and the Red Bull and the V-Carb and the McLaren as well, all involved in this one at the moment. Is off wide in the back there. Goes Vigo with a mistake today. He loses out on places. It says the Red Bull of Heavy on the backside of Luco as he's going to gain as much as he can, try and make an overtake. We've also got Noah here getting ever closer on lap 7 of 29. This is a really good start so far from all the drivers as the Racing Bull now tries to put his wing up the inside into the barrier there for the Red Bull. And now the Racing Bull loses his back end. It is contact for the drivers as the Racing Bull gets the back end clipped out there by the Williams, I believe, due to stick. Gets ahead, Noah in 11, Heavy as well, suffers the consequences. He's also out at the back in P12. No safety car because of that, which is crazy. But the drivers get on with it like nothing happened at all. But what is going on today? An incredible race that we are witnessing so far in L2 for IFR. And now it is, I think it's only just beginning, because look at this one, Chris LV then, on the backside of Luco. He's going to be carrying on all the way round now onto the 8th lap of 29 for the drivers. Luco out in front, Chris behind, the gap's 4/10 of a second. Remember, Chris LV with a time penalty as well as Vigo. But up to the front then, TSMO ahead of the second place sitter. Beast as your leader still, but 4.6 to TSMO now. Is this McLaren going to gain and make that overtake? We'll find out. But a really, really interesting race so far. Well, Eric's getting a bit closer to TSMO here and potentially might even be able to re-overtake him here in this race, but all in due course, and we'll find out what happens in the foreseeable future. In the chat, I can see the Stewart videos in my brain. Can't we all, after some of that action? Oh my. But a really good race at the moment here in Australia, and thoroughly enjoying it. This is some of the best battles we've seen in a while, and this is a battle we're witnessing at the moment. Then Luco's got Null Woke in front, and this could be an overtake, but the Racing Bull in front does have his rear wing open as the drivers head through the first few corners. Off wide there for Null Woke as he loses a bit of time. The rear wing might just save him here, but the Haas has already got the speed round the outside line, and it is Luco into 5 now ahead of Null Woke. Chris in P7 at the moment. He currently sat in the McLaren doing what he can to keep in and involved with this action. And you know what? He isn't too far off here on the backside of Null. But look at this then, side by side with the drivers. Luco now into P4 as Blocky loses a place. They're all fighting down in towards the chicane as Noah retires in the pit lane. Out in front is Luco. Null now goes into 5. Blocky loses down to 7. It's Chris LV gets his moment in the sun. He goes into P6 now. Came out of absolutely nowhere, didn't he? But a brilliant drive from all drivers so far as we go to the front then. Beast crosses the line and begins lap 10 of 29 this evening and nearing half-race distance already. The drivers are really going on with it this evening, and remember, we've got post-race interviews of the top 3 finishing drivers, which is going to be really interesting as well. Hopefully the drivers want to speak to us, and we'll get some interviews going and flowing later on in the evening. But Chris LV then in 6 with Null Woke in front, and we have 19 laps remaining of this Grand Prix. The McLaren looks for an... Oh! Back end sliding out for Null. He locks up then going into the right-hand side. Chris LV gets the best end of it. Blocky now. He's on the backside. This could be an overtake for the Alpine. He's in the right place at the right time, but he does send it a bit wide there and hit the barrier. Here's TSMO and Eric's then in second and third. Look at this then, Bombastic in 8. It is Blocky, of course, on the backside of Vigo, but wasn't a great exit of the corner there. As we're currently on lap 11 of 29, the driver's powering down the straight. Beast is 7.3 ahead of TSMO, and it is looking like TSMO is really struggling here. Beast on the hard compound compared to TSMO's mediums, and you know, the hards are clearly working a lot better than the mediums here because TSMO losing 2 seconds over the course of a few laps here. It is Eric's in third as Null Woke with a 3-second time penalty. As we have Blocky, Heavy in the pit lane. Anybody else comes in? Potentially the Aston Martin's back end now slides out. Mike Pro is caught in a slide. He now gets back on the circuit. Will it be a pit lane? No, it won't. He carries on. Well, position changes all across the grid at the moment. And I think one of the drivers just left the session, maybe by accident. But the only driver officially out today is Noah. He's in the barrier there. One of the drivers hit it slightly. A bit of wing damage it is there. You can see Cano has got wing damage on the front right. A little bit of end plate damage he has at the moment. As Chris LV decides to make the lunge into the pit lane as well as Vigo. Let's see if anybody else follows them in. We'll find out very soon. But Vigo and Chris both in on the mediums. Coming out is Chris on the hards as well as Vigo. Both doing the same strategy call here. As Kenny in the pit lane. Kenny in the barrier, I believe. Kenny retires from the session then in the Aston Martin. He was in the barrier. We're going to try and catch a glimpse of it here then. He's gone now. But we do have a virtual safety car on lap 12 of 29. Not a full safety car. It is only a virtual that we have here in Albert Park, Australia. On lap 12 of 29. Beast currently as your leader. Let's see. Have we got TSMO behind? Yes, we have. TSMO behind. But at the moment, a virtual safety car has been deployed. So the drivers reduce their racing speeds by a lot and bring it down. And have to stay within that lower speed range while the stewards would clear it up as it has been cleared away. And we are racing again. No more yellow flags. Heavy now with a 3-second penalty as TSMO decides to make a pit stop on lap 13 of 29. He's gone 13 long laps on the mediums, and they'll be crying out for help now as he gets them changed. It is the hards he's gone on to. Now coming out of the pit lane in 4th position, but he might just lose out potentially here to Null Woke, making his way down the main straight. They're going to overlap each other in a moment then. Here comes the Racing Bull. Will it be an overtake on the McLaren? It is going to be coming out of the pit lane, and he does just about get through. And Null gets 4. TSMO now has to fight from 5th place. So here come the drivers around the final corner then. The battles aren't as prominent at the moment. Unfortunately, we don't have as many. But hopefully, as time goes on, we will get a few more battles. That'll be the plan. That'll be pretty good. Well, so far a successful race, and this is looking like an overtake here with Vigo and Blocky very, very soon. Not far away from each other at all. Blocky and Vigo together. Is this Haas car going to finally make this overtake? Getting ever closer and right up behind him. The Alpine slides off wide. Blocky into the barrier then with a huge mistake from him. And unfortunately, that will round off his race at the minute. He's down in 10. He's got a lot of work to do now if he wants to make it back up. All the way down in 10th position. Null Woke then in 7. He'll be coming out of the pit lane in a moment. Brand new hard compound tyres as Vigo gets past. But it is lap 14 of 29 and we are about half race distance now then. We're in the midpoint of half race distance and not. Maluko in 2nd place with a 13.1 second gap to the race leader. TSMO's in 3rd. He was in 5 after exiting the pit lane. Now he's in 3rd and he's making the places up. However, he does have an 11.3 second gap to Luco, who I don't believe has made a pit stop yet. No, he hasn't, as well as Beast and Due to Stick and Can at the back. So we'll find out what they decide to do. It's Kenny and Noah, both drivers retiring from this L2 race here in Australia this evening on the Friday night. And unfortunately, I won't be available tomorrow, but I will be commentator for Saturdays now, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll be back on the Saturday evenings, back to what I used to be doing on the Saturdays. This week I'm a bit busy, but next week I'll be starting again. But it's good that I've been offered this tonight. Really glad to be back in IFR. It's been a long little while, few weeks now, but glad to be back. I really, really am. As Heavy in the pit lane. Heavy in the pit lane. Sorry, Jutas stick in the pit lane. Heavy with a 3-second time penalty. More penalties coming in then. Jutas in the pits with the hards on. These are going to turn into the mediums, I believe, now as he enters the pit lane. It is the mediums, and he's going to potentially try and run these till the end. But we'll find out what he decides to do as the drivers head down the main straight. As Heavy actually retires from the session now in the pit lane, leaving us with only 12 drivers remaining here today. Looking up the inside, the Alpine there. Blocky trying to make an overtake. Switching back underneath now on Guru. Will this be an overtake at the moment? I don't think it is, but he's not going to stop until he gets what he wants. Like a dog with a bone is Blocky right on the backside of Guru here. And when the time comes, he will make that overtake. But he has just lost a slight amount of time. 0.5 of a second now. Half a second the gap between them. It's going to get closed up now. Getting closer. The rear wing open for both drivers. But their battery working better for Blocky. Round the outside line. The Alpine clears the Williams on lap 16 of 29. Jutastic then with a 3-second time penalty. I do apologise about butchering a lot of the names. I'm starting to realise how to say a lot of them now. Jutastic. I've been saying Jutastic, but it is what it is. And if I'm saying any more wrong, let me know. I do apologise. I really, really do. But I'm never the best with names. But yeah, lap 16 of 29 and, at the moment. It is Beast leading, but we're still waiting for his pit stop. He's been on these hards for a long, long, long time. And they seem to be working well for him. He's got 12.3 seconds to Luco, and the gap doesn't really seem to be fluctuating too much. He seems okay at the moment, but when will he go into the pit lane is the question. I mean, as I say that, the gap is coming down slightly. It's 11.9 and dropping. This might be make or break for Beast then, as he will be losing his free pit stop very soon, or he might have already lost it here. Luco might just have that advantage to make the move past, but however, he still hasn't made an overtake. Sorry, he still hasn't made a pit stop either. I just realised TSMO is the closest man behind. Luco's up 13 seconds, by the way. My brain is fried. He's up 13 places tonight, as well as TSMO up 11 as well. Well, Guru in 9 then, and trying to keep himself on the track there as he makes his way around. We look for a battle, but there's not really too many. Apart from this here, potentially Chris on the backside of Eric's, but this is even more important. Beast now, for the first time today, in the pit lane. He's led every single lap, really, pretty much, of the Grand Prix, and he's now in on the mediums. He will be overtaken potentially by TSMO here, but his rival Luco now in the pit lane. TSMO over the line, overtakes the both of them, and now leads the Australian Grand Prix. Beast comes out. You can see him in the rear of the image there. Beast in second place, 3 seconds the gap at the moment. It's Chris LV now in third, ahead of Eric's. But an overtake again. Chris tries it. Eric's manages to hold himself in front. But Chris getting ever closer here on the Mercedes, right on the rear side of him. Will this be an overtake? I believe it will be as he looks to the outside. What an overtake it will be. Passes him easily. Chris LV ahead of Eric's and now gets through the McLaren in third place. So maybe Eric's might make an overtake here, ladies and gentlemen, on Chris, but we'll find out. You have a very good voice for commentary. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Here comes Eric's. Is he going to make this overtake then? Switches underneath and looks for that move, but there's just no available space for him to do it at the moment. But this Mercedes, of course, has got the power, and the two rival teams are going to go at it here. Eric's and Chris. Also Luco on the scene as well, but of course there is some drivers that won't count with points today. It'll be TSMO, Vigo and Chris, that the ones, you know, that are still here. Eric's now gets into third and Chris down to 4. So as it stands, if it finishes like this, it would be Beast as the winner, Eric's 2 and Luco in 3, I believe. That would be how it would round up in the order, but it is now lap 20 of 29, and Beast gets ahead of TSMO. An overtake now, and a great overtake indeed. So lovely stuff. Beast as your leader, back again ahead of TSMO and doing exactly what he's here to do, doing what he's best at. It is now lap 20. Beast in second place then, ladies and gentlemen. He's got TSMO in front. And this is a battle that we are waiting to see. Can Beast make this overtake then? He's getting ever closer. TSMO made the move back through, but the Ferrari's not going to want to settle for second best here. 8 laps remaining before the end, and he clears him around the outside line, but not enough for the minute as they still fight side by side through the first few corners here in Albert Park. TSMO is not letting go of this lead at the moment, but the Ferrari switches back underneath. Can he regain his race lead this evening? I think he can for a moment, but this McLaren not letting go in the slightest, and TSMO once again leads the Albert Park Grand Prix. What a race so far. What an overtake for TSMO. Not letting it go. A brilliant battle we're seeing at the minute. Well, TSMO then goes through into P1, but Beast is going to try and fight him back. He slingshots round the outside line, does Beast, and then overtake. Oh, TSMO around the outside. Look at that overtake then on lap 22 of 29. Not letting him go at all, is he, this McLaren? And, of course, he won't be taking points today from Beast, but he really is giving it a good go. An incredible race at the minute as he keeps himself in front. But Chris with a 3-second time penalty then, and only 6 laps remaining till the end. The penalties do start to rack up, but not for the leading few drivers, which is of course brilliant for them. Well, only 6 laps left, and TSMO not letting this go at all. Yellow flags in the first sector as round goes Chris LV. Oh, it's a virtual safety car. Again, the second one we've had. A VSC is out, as in the barrier is Chris, and you can see there's no wing left at all on that McLaren, completely gone. There's Cam with a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car here. A drive-through penalty speeding under the VSC for Can as we get racing again. Guru and Can both in the pit lane. Can comes in now then in the Red Bull, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does retire, to be fair. Oh, he's got to do a drive-through penalty as well. Oh no, it's going to be really bad for him then. But we watch from the front again with TSMO. Only a few remaining laps now, and then we're going to get to speak to some of the drivers in the interview room, of course. I believe we're only going to be speaking to the drivers that take championship points here tonight. So that'll be Beast, Eric's, and Chris, I think. I need to have a look, actually. I keep forgetting every time. No, not Chris, sorry. It would be... We'll find out. We'll find out in due course. But Beast goes back through into the lead, and TSMO loses out again, down to second place, but I'm sure he will fight back for it on the remaining few laps. We know what this driver's like. He's very good at regaining these places. Cano with a 3-second time penalty. But Heavy, Kenny and Noah, all drivers that have retired from the session today. TSMO then gaining here on Beast. He looks to the outside line. Will this be an overtake now for the McLaren? It will be once again. He is brilliant. He really is. And never lets it go, does he? And the battle is just continuing. Beast is equally as good. And really both of them pushing each other to the limits then this evening. Really, really fun to watch. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed watching this as well. Of course, we do have the post-race interviews coming up after this. And then I will be making a race highlight reel, you know, in... oh, hang on a minute. The safety car's deployed. Into the barrier for Cano there. Safety car is out on the final few laps of the Grand Prix. Lap 25 of 29. And we're only going to have 2 laps of racing now after the safety car. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the safety car is out for the first time today. And in the pit lane now for Null Woke. I don't know if anybody else is going to do the same thing. Canho with the penalty. I think Null just got one as well, entering the pit lane. but it is lap 26 of 29, and we're going to go around again on lap 27. I believe lap 28 will be the racing lap. Cano with a 10-second time penalty. In the pit lane as well for TSMO and Beast. This is huge then. I'm sure everybody's going to follow them in now. New tyres for the drivers then, and this is going to be brilliant. We're going to see a showdown all on the softs till the end. In the pit lane for Null as well. But we have had some pit stops now. Luco Vigo did not go into the pit lane. So, of course, they won't be taking any points today either. But they're making their way around now then with the drivers trailing them behind. And when we go racing, which should be this coming lap, there you go, just on cue, they are possibly going to struggle a little bit more. Well, let's do this then. For the final time today, the drivers are preparing to get ready to go racing again. Luco, Vigo, TSMO, your top three. And Luco is, I believe, one of the drivers in the main league, so in the main tier, so he is in a good place for him at the moment. On the soft compound tyres as well, brand new tyres. They're all on brand new tyres actually. Sorry, I didn't realise that. Pretty much is Luco around the final corner. It is time to go racing again then here in Australia. Who's going to take the win today? The final 2 laps of the race begin. Canho is disqualified from the session then for ignoring a drive-through penalty. He is out of the Grand Prix tonight. Luco through the first few corners and in the Haas. He leads quite well. Like I said, Canho retired from the session, then disqualified here. Eric's trying to make a move up the inside line of Chris there, but has to dive for cover. Looks to the left-hand side there. Blocking 9 then, Mike Pro in front in the Aston Martin. Null Woke then behind that in P10 with Chris where's Chris? Chris in P5 at the minute with a 3-second time penalty. He will be one of the drivers not to take any points today. He also has a time penalty now because of that 3-second that he's just acquired. Fastest middle sector then for Beast, who is making his way around well, and he's looking like he might get close to winning this one tonight. Luco might just take it away from him then as the race leader, but Beast is not too far off here. Of course, he is going to take second place as it stands right now. Here we go then, TSMO and Vigo, they are side by side in towards turn 1. The final lap of the Grand Prix begins and TSMO is sideways through turn 1, then loses the back end. Now Beast gets an overtake. Beast is making his way through. Chris retires from the session. What a final lap we have got then, everybody. Lap 29 of 29. Beast gets ahead of Vigo, now into P2, and now has got Luco 2 seconds in front. It's not looking like he'll be able to catch him, unfortunately. Luco leading, Beast in 2, Vigo in 3rd. It is a Rix in 4, Tissimo in 5, Jutastic in 6, Mike Pro 7, Nullwoke 8, 9 is Blocky, and 10 is Guru. But the final lap of the race, and what an incredible race it has been today. I have to admit, one of the best races I have seen in a long while. The drivers have given it absolutely everything, as Vigo now with another time penalty, ladies and gentlemen. But Luco doing everything he can. Vigo gets back ahead of Beast here. But yes, Luco, one of the drivers that will not lose points today. He is here full time as he makes his way around the final few corners. Coming out of nowhere at the very end, the Haas driver here in Albert Park has conquered the streets up towards the line. He wins the Australian Grand Prix. Over the line for Vigo then. He will, of course, get that taken away from him. It is Beast in second place, Tiesimo third, but he will lose that. It will be Eric's on the podium in third place, ladies and gentlemen. What a race. Oh, Luke doesn't count as well. Oh, my bad, mate. Sorry, I didn't see that in your message. Well, it's Beast then, everybody. Beast as your winner. Beast wins the Australian Grand Prix, and we're definitely going to speak to him in the interview room today, hopefully, if he wants to. But that's it then. Interviews coming up next. And Blocky crossing the line very soon. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the race. Now we go into the interviews, but this is the finishing results then today. Race winner, Luco. We have fastest lap, Beast. Driver of the day, most overtakes, and cleanest driver all go to Luco today. Driving very well indeed. Now on to your interviews, so bear with us while we get the drivers ready. Well, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. We just wait to get our top 3 drivers in the interview room. Hopefully they want to speak. He says he's in... Okay, never mind. Sorry about this, guys. Just waiting to get some people in. Hello. Right. Beast, are we okay to start with you, mate? Oh, hang on a minute. That might be the issue. Wait. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. That's my fault. Sorry, I had my audio set wrong. Anyway, right. Winning the race today then. Give us your thoughts on the whole event, mate.
Um, so my wheel like disconnected on my outlap for my final run,
Mm.
and I know I have time in it, so I was really annoyed at that, and then I think that kind of made me mess up the race start a little bit, so I just lost P1 straight away. But yeah, once I got it back, I had it until the pit stops, which was good.
Was there, of course, Australia, the street track that it is, was there any particular corner or sector that you were, consistently struggling with, or were you pretty happy with it all?
Um, I think the last corner was like the only difficult one because I had to lift a few times or else I was going to run into the wall.
Yeah.
That one's always really difficult to get perfect every single lap.
Well, of course, winning the race today, but coming into it, is Australia one of your strong tracks? Were you expecting a result like this today, or is it come as a bit of a surprise?
It's not necessarily one of my good ones. It's not one that I like have in my head, but guess it is now.
Absolutely, I'm glad to hear it. Well, good results today, mate, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Yep.
Right, Jutastic, would you like an interview, mate, or not?
Uh, Sorry, my English is very bad.
I can still
Yeah,
give you an interview if you want, but if you don't feel comfortable to do that, that's absolutely fine.
yeah,
Okay, right. So you okay? You okay to go ahead with a small interview?
yeah.
Good stuff. Right then, let's have a look. Where did you finish today? What was your finishing position?
It's a very good position.
Yes.
Was a race, quali fine. Um, yeah, I'm happy.
Is Australia a strong track of yours, or were you not expecting this result that you got today?
Uh, yeah, it was not easy. It's okay.
Absolutely. Well done on the result, mate, and you should be very happy with that. So thank you very much for your time.
Yep.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we're getting the third driver, so that'll be it from me. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have your race highlight reel being made by me. Hopefully tonight I'll get it posted as soon as I can, and I believe I'll be on comms for you tomorrow as well now, as plans have changed a little bit.